You know, I've been teaching quite a bit lately, and I get really excited when I discover that something inside of me, spirit inside of me, has made some crooked path within me straighter. And I say this because, you know, we're nearing the end of the year, and I've been kind of looking back a little bit on my life and looking back on the growth of this community and on myself and the interactions that I've had with some of the students as I've been teaching. And, you know, it's been an absolute privilege to be teaching here and to work with all these students and to watch what's happening in this community and in our lives. And then yet, because I get so excited about teaching and speaking, what happens is I come upon this thing that I think that each of us run across once in a while, and I have to try to reconcile this somewhere. And it's like, what is this thing about fear? I think we all come and have an experience with it for some reason, and tonight we're going to try to get inside of that and see what that's about. So the title of the talk is The Inside of Fear. So have you noticed that fear can kind of get you all emotionally worked up? It gets us driven to some degree, and fear is an intense emotion that we have. And so when I've been looking inside of fear, trying to see what it is, what attracts us to it, what's within that actually compels me to want to engage in it, to give it some of my attention and find out exactly what's happening within me that keeps me so engaged in it, what I find is that I'm getting value out of it. That somewhere along the line, I'm getting value out of it. And so I have to ask myself, well, you know, am I emotionally driven? Is there something inside of me, this intense emotion that's causing me to bottle up all this stuff that I have inside? Because you know, when we bottle up these emotions of ours, it's like releasing a poison into our system, into our body of affairs, into the experiences that we have. And when we bottle that up, there is like stagnation that takes place in our life. And you know, anywhere there's stagnation, there's death. And that's not the kind of death that I want to have. What I want to do is I want to die daily to what I believe about God. I want to die daily to this limited concept that I have that I need some power outside of me to guide me. That I need some power to go to hear somebody or to read something in a book rather than turn within and listen to that inner voice of truth within and let that guide me. But instead, I'd rather go to those fearful places and flip the channel to see if I can't get something to work me up. You know, anger and malice and vindictiveness and resentment. Do you know anybody that displays any of that kind of behavior? Nobody in this room, I know. But I know that there are certainly people that we've come across, and maybe we've recognized that in them, or we've recognized that in ourselves. And those are just subtle forms of fear that are arising out of a sense of inferiority. You know, in psychology, they say that, in all the psychologies, they say that there's only one complex, and that's an inferiority complex. And I know people always like to say, well, no, you don't know my boss. You know, there is a superiority complex. People want to argue for that. You don't know my boss. You don't know my ex-husband. You don't know my wife. You don't know the coworker that I deal with. No, there's more than just an inferiority complex, but there's not. You know, there's only an inferiority complex. And what appears to be a superiority complex is just an inferiority complex screaming so loud as to not scare the crap out of itself. And so I think that some of us get to this place where we have this idea within us of this natural-born insecurity because, you know, if we really listen to the ways of the world, we will take on ideas of not enoughness. I mean, otherwise, why would we take all those vitamins or put all that cream on to make us look more beautiful? Why would we engage in Tommy Bahama shirts? Why would we do that? Because there's something within us that compels us to want to be more, to want to express more, to want to have a more fulfilling experience of life, and we think we'll get it on the outside.